playoff time. Let's talk about the three biggest concerns I have for the Minnesota Vikings. Welcome back to Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Lupagus, and Minnesota Vikings 13-4 finished the regular season. They are set for a 3:30 matchup this Sunday, divisional round, or no, wild card round of the playoffs against the New York Giants. A rematch from the Christmas Eve game just a couple of weeks ago. Before we hop on that, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the vids. Also drop hashtag LiftBridge in the comments for your chance to get one of two gift cards to LiftBridge Brewing Company. We'll be drawing that hopefully today. Also, brand new sponsor, That's Badass Wood Art. Drop hashtag badass in the comments for your chance to win that giveaway, which will be probably sometime later this month. But that's the plan for those. So Minnesota Vikings in the playoffs. As they get to the playoffs, there are definitely some concerns with this team. Let's talk about my three biggest ones. And number three, and I'm actually going to order these. I'm going to count down to one. For me, number three is our kicker, Greg Joseph. Yes, he's had great moments this season. He beat the Giants earlier with a 61-yard field goal. He was perfect when we went to London. He's had some very good games. He's also had some very shaky games. He's missed a lot of extra points this year. He's missed a lot of field goals. He missed 2 in Green Bay a couple weeks ago. So our kicker, if this game comes down, any playoff game, whether it's this Sunday or, God willing, the Vikings win one and go on to the next round, if it comes down to Greg Joseph's leg, every Vikings fan will be shitting their pants, nervous as hell, which is no different than any other Vikings kicker. Got to get that out there. Got to be fair about that and be honest about that. But can you imagine if the Vikings are down, they come back, they drive 80 yards in a minute and a half, and Greg Joseph misses the tying extra point? I mean, that would be absolutely heartbreaking. And, for a Vikings franchise, a Vikings fan base that's been through a ton of heartbreak, I don't know if we can handle one more like that. So, definitely Greg Joseph is concerning, but he's 3 on my list because he's been good. He's been up and down. So kind of like the Vikings this year, winning games by 1 score or getting beat by 30 points. Greg Joseph seems like, he makes all his kicks or he misses multiple. So, all right, Greg Joseph, number 3 on my list. Number 2 is the defense, Minnesota Vikings defense. It's, I think, statistically the worst in the NFL. They preach the bend and don't break method. Well, it's time to change that. It's time to be aggressive. It's time to attack. It's time to quit giving quarterbacks the same looks every single time they go to the line and read the defense. Nothing changes, and they know what's coming. It's even the most inexperienced backup quarterback who has no reps can definitely get used to that and figure out how to attack it very, very quickly. Here's the thing. Daniel Jones just faced this defense a couple weeks ago. He knows that's still fresh in his mind. So Ed Dontel better come up with something different. I've seen a lot of people talking about, hey, let's go to the 4-3. We saw how good it worked against the Chicago Bears. A lot of 4-3 in that game. Yeah, but it was also the Chicago Bears starting Nathan Peterman and a team that had nothing to play for. So I don't think you can glean anything out of that game. Don't be like, oh, look what we do against the Bears. Let's do that moving forward. No, it was the Bears who were trying to get the first pick. No effort there, so do not do that. But I can't disagree with it. I mean, if it's more 4-3 looks, fine. Darius Smith didn't play last week. Harrison Smith didn't play last week. But we need to bring pressure. We need to be aggressive. We need to change up our looks, change up our formations, confuse Danny Dimes, and not bring out the same base formation every single play. That being said, they land 2 on my list just because they do bend and don't break. And 13 times this year, well, maybe 11 times because 2 wins were fairly decisive. This defense has made plays when it needs to, whether it's a late interception, just stopping the other team on 4th down. They've done it many times, so they can live that way. It's dangerous to try to win a playoff game with that mentality and that scheme, but the Vikings defense is what it is this year. So hopefully it changes. Hopefully we see some more aggression. Hopefully we see some more blitzing, but it's my number 2 concern with this team as the playoffs approach. And my number 1 concern with this team, with the playoffs approaching, is the offensive line. It's been pretty good all year long. We haven't had to talk about it too much. But now we don't have Brian O'Neill at right tackle. We don't have Garrett Bradbury at center. We still have Ed Ingram at right guard. Replacing those two, we have Chris Reed at center now, and Oli Udo at right tackle. I know Oli Udo graded out well last week, but I don't know. I saw a lot of pressure come his way. I saw him get manhandled a couple times. And then Chris Reed, considering with Chris Reed last game, it just seemed like the Vikings are snapping the ball very, very close to zero, past zero. I know they had to call timeout once. They got flagged once. I don't know if that was some communication with Reed, not getting the calls right, not snapping the ball right, not sensing when it's supposed to go. But you could tell Kirk Cousins was getting frustrated. He looked at the sidelines, gesturing very violently. So hopefully that gets worked out this week with some more reps. But you look at this Giants D line, Dexter Lawrence, he destroyed us last time, and he's going to be back ready to feast. Kayvon Thibodeau's over there. So very, very scary D line. One, I believe they gave about 4 sacks to with a healthier unit out there. So my biggest concern is this O-line. We haven't seen them really play a full, meaningful game against an opponent who's, trying to win. So how they gel, how they come together, how they protect Kirk Cousins, it's going to be huge, and it's going to really tell a lot about how far the Vikings can actually go in the playoffs this year. Hopefully, Kevin O'Connell scheming away from the weaknesses would roll Kirk Cousins out. I know you don't want to roll him out left, but you're going to have to get the ball out quick as well. A lot of quick bangers in this one because the pressure is going to be coming. And it'll be coming hard, and it'll be in Kirk Cousins' face the entire game against the Giants. So, all right, guys, those are my 3 biggest concerns as the Vikings approach the playoffs. Let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you have some more? Also, don't forget #LiftBridge, #badass. We will be doing some drawings very, very soon. And also, as the playoffs approach, remember this: keep your skull in your hole.